If you're a PhD or a master's student, chances are you will have to submit a research synopsis before you can submit your thesis. So what is a research synopsis? What sections should it include? How long should it be? And most importantly, can you use AI tools ethically to speed up the whole process and still avoid plagiarism and AI detection checks by the university? Let's find out. Hi, welcome back. I am Neha Agrawal. I'm the founder of WiseUp, and in this video, I'm going to show you how to write a research synopsis step by step using an AI tool. I'm going to demonstrate the entire flow that's not only acceptable to universities but will help you prepare a synopsis that actually looks good. So make sure you watch the video till the very end. Now first let's start by understanding what a research synopsis actually is. A research synopsis is a pre-submission document, something you write after your master's or PhD research is done. It summarizes the main gaps you identified and the major contributions of your work. It is submitted to the university before your thesis, and it helps the faculty decide whether your work is good enough to move to the thesis and defense stage or not. So that actually makes it a very important document for your research. Now, a lot of people confuse a synopsis with a research proposal. Yes, it's true, some of the sections overlap, but the major difference is that a research proposal talks about the research you would like to do in the future, while a synopsis covers the research that you have already done. And this difference shows up everywhere in the way it's written. It's more focused, it's written in the past tense, and it actually talks about your contributions and achievements and not just your plans. Now, the length of a synopsis varies quite a bit from university to university. It can range anywhere from 1000 words to even 4 to 6 pages. In fact, sometimes the kind of sections that the university wants you to include also varies from university to university. So before writing your research synopsis, make sure you carefully go through your university guidelines first. Now, irrespective of the university, let's talk about some of the main sections which you will find in a research synopsis. And the first one is the title and the cover page. And this is where you include your main thesis title and then you go on to preparing your cover page following the exact template shared by the university. Now, this usually includes your full name, your supervisor's name, the department's name, and your thesis title as well. Next is the introduction or background, and this is where you lay down the existing knowledge of the field, but briefly. What you need to understand is that this part will be covered in detail anyway inside your thesis as part of the literature review. So here what you need to do is just give enough context to your reader about what was already done in your field before you started your research. Next comes the research gap, and this is where we explain the specific issue or problem in the existing literature that our research is trying to address. We usually share the research gap in 1 to 2 sentences, clearly and concisely. Now, based on your university, your research gap might get its own separate section, or it might live inside the introduction or background section. After that comes the objective, and this usually includes a general objective, which is like the big picture aim of your study, and some specific objectives underneath it, written point-wise. Now, one thing to keep in mind is that these objectives should be the ones that you actually ended up doing and not the ones that you initially proposed. Now, after objectives, naturally you would expect that methodology should be the next section. However, based on many synopsis guidelines that I have gone through, they don't really expect you to share the methodology. So once again, refer to your university requirement. But if you're expected to share one, then what you're supposed to do is broadly explain the process that you have followed in order to arrive at the results. Then comes the contribution section, and this is where you explicitly explain what value did your research add to the field. So why did your research matter, or why was it significant? And then after that comes the conclusion section, and this is where you tie back the results that you have achieved to the objectives that you had set out in the beginning. You can also mention any limitations that your study had and 2 or 3 directions that your research opens up for the future. After that, you share a list of publications or patents that came out of your thesis. So you mention the specific title, the journal or conference it was a part of, and what is the current status. So whether it's published, accepted, or under review. This is also one of the most important sections of your research synopsis because it helps the faculty understand that your work has already received some recognition, some credibility, and it makes your case of defending your thesis much more stronger. Lastly comes the references section, and usually this list stays small. Some universities cap it around 10 references. Now, one more thing to remember while you're writing your synopsis is that it is self-contained. This means that if somebody is reading your synopsis without having your thesis to refer to, they should be able to understand the entire synopsis without having to refer to any additional document. Alright, so now I hope you've understood what are the main sections which go in a research synopsis and how to write one. Now, if you wish to learn in detail how to write each and every section of a research paper, how to perform citations and references, how to choose the best journals, and how to publish your work in top impact factor journals, then you can join me for my course on A to Z of research writing and presentation. I've put the link and discount coupon in the description below for you. Now let's talk about how to write a research synopsis faster and more efficiently with the help of an academic writing AI tool, Jenny. Now, one thing I want to make very clear here, we are not going to use Jenny to generate any content for us, just like how you guys do on ChatGPT. So no, Jenny is not going to write the introduction section for us or frame the findings for us. That is our job. What Jenny is going to help us in is the structure, language, and clearly articulating our work. And that is how you use academic writing AI tools ethically for a research document that you're writing. Now let me show you step by step how you can use Jenny. So here I am on Jenny. I've logged into my account and I start with a fresh new document. So this is the exact prompt I'm going to type. I am working on a research synopsis with sections for introduction, background, objectives, contribution, conclusion, and list of publications. The topic is on the effect of social media on adolescent mental health. This is a pre-submission synopsis, not a proposal. And if you see, Jenny has generated the entire outline for me with all the sections that I had mentioned, along with contextual prompts about the information that I'm supposed to include under each of these sections. But the best part about having an outline generated is that you're no longer staring at a blank document, not knowing where to start. This outline itself is very helpful for you to get started with writing each of the sections one by one. Now, once your outline is ready, it's important that you get your literature onto the platform. So for that, you click on this library option that you see in the left, and now you can either upload your PDFs or you can even connect your Zotero and Mendeley account. And if you see, all the papers that I'm supposed to refer to for my synopsis are already here. I can categorize them into different folders as well, or read them directly from here. In fact, if I don't understand a paper clearly, then I can very easily use the AI chat assistant, ask it to explain a particular section to me, summarize the paper, or even explain some technical terms. Now, once your literature is loaded onto the platform, the next step is to actually start writing. And this is where I highly recommend that you write the synopsis on your own. For a second, forget that Jenny is an AI tool. Try to write each and every section yourself. It's okay if your English is not very strong or your writing is not academic enough. That's exactly the places where Jenny is going to help you out. But what you are supposed to do is write each section yourself, include all the information that is supposed to go in the research synopsis. And once you're done, once all the information is there, now you can use the help of Jenny to further refine this document. So you can easily select a sentence that you want to improve. Click on AI edit, and then if you see, there are multiple options that are available where you can improve the fluency, paraphrase, simplify, strengthen the argument, or even add counter argument. In fact, if you're not really sure which options to go for, then you can simply select the sentence and mention, I'm not happy with the way the transition is happening in this sentence, and Jenny will automatically solve this for you. Now, what I love about Jenny is that not only does it suggest the change, but it tells you exactly where and how it is changing the text. So that gives you a lot of control as an author, where you're able to see exactly where AI is making the edits for you, and then you can decide whether you want to proceed with those changes or not. Now, while writing, you can directly cite the literature on the platform without having to use a separate reference manager. So to do that, simply select the sentence, click on Find Citations, and now you can cite the papers either from the library that you've uploaded, or you can find more relevant literature through the internet as well. Simply click on Cite and you will notice that not only a citation appears, but at the end of the document, a separate references section is created as well. And now, based on your university's requirement, you can easily choose from 10,000 plus citation styles that are available. So this really eliminates the need for you to use a separate reference manager to be doing the citation and references work on the document. So now you've written your document, polished it to make it more academic, formal and professional, and you have also cited all the relevant papers. Now it is time to go for a thorough review. And this is where Jenny checks your document for structure, academic consistency, and language all at once. So once your document is ready, simply click on the review button on the top right, and if you see, there are a host of review features that are available on Jenny which you can use one by one. So first, starting with proofread option. Now this is where Jenny goes through your entire document to identify any grammar, punctuation, word choice and other writing issues. Based on its suggestions, you can make those changes and make sure that your document is free of any language or grammatical errors. Once you've proofread your document, after that you can go for claim confidence, where Jenny goes through your writing, helps you find missing or weak citations, and also suggests references to avoid any accidental plagiarism. After this, the next review feature that you should go for, and the one that I highly recommend, is peer review, where Jenny goes through your document as an expert academic peer reviewer and gives you feedback as to how to further strengthen the arguments, strengthen the overall quality of your document. It's almost like your supervisor, the academic committee, going through your document before you've actually submitted it. So based on the suggestions you receive, you can make the necessary corrections in your document, and once you've done all these steps, I can assure you that your document is going to be absolutely ready for submission. So everyone, this is what I wanted to share with you today. I hope you've understood not only the main sections that go in your synopsis, what is the information that you're supposed to include, but how to use an academic writing AI tool like Jenny to write your research synopsis ethically and without the fear of plagiarism or AI detection. Now, if you wish to learn in detail which are the best AI tools that you can use for the entire research workflow, right from literature review and data analysis to writing and publishing, along with receiving step-by-step demo of how to use them for your own research needs, then you can join me for my course on Master AI Tools for Research. I've put the link and discount coupon in the description below for you. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.